Modern Roman shades use exclusive fabrics and our traditional soft shades operating systems. These are designed obviously with child safety in mind and a more modern look to the product. Modern Roman shades come in a range of 3 roll-up or stack-up styles that we call traditional, tailored, and tiered. It also has a side stack vertiglide style operation called traversed. This session will focus on traditional, tailored, and tiered, and we run another session at a later date on the traversed option. So the traditional, tailored, and tiered have no exposed cords on the back of any of the operating systems. So that really enhances and provides top-level child safety. Traditional shades roll up into the headrail for an unobstructed view. You have a 100mm contoured folded vane, so it remains nice and neat and consistent, and obviously that's with every operation. It's available in translucent and block-out opacities. Then you move on to the tailored. Now this is a more contemporary flatter fold design, sort of reminiscent of a batten style classic Roman shade. Again, the shade also rolls up into the headrail for a clear view, but it gives you that 150mm flat vane, and like the traditional, it's available in translucent and block-out opacities. Now the tiered uses a slightly different headrail. It's a lower profile fabric covered headrail. It requires less mounting depth, so perfect for those narrower reveals. It's available in a 100mm contoured vane, only available in translucent, and when this shade folds up, it pucks out at the front and it also pucks out at the back. The traversed, as I said, we'll cover in another session at a later date, but this is a cordless side-to-side operation, ideal for sliding doors and obviously big glass expanses. It's available only in the 100mm contoured vane, translucent only, and it actually provides what's known in the curtain industry as the S vane or the S curve. It's available left stack, right stack, or split stack. With the split stack, just quickly, you can go up to 9 meters. So obviously this gives us the ability to cover a huge width opening, and this is by joining 2 headrails. When you go past the width of 4860mm in width, 2 headrails are butted together in the center of the shade, which will also feature a fabric tab connector to join those 2 headrails. Also on the traversed, the fabric pattern obviously runs vertically as opposed to traditional tailored and tiered fabric running horizontally. Also with the traversed in the headrail, the fabric has to run different direction to what it does on the main fabric skin. But let's talk controls. Now our traditional, tailored and tiered are controlled by either light rise, ultra glide, or obviously power view. The traditional and tailored are also available with the easy rise option. So I guess in its simplest form, tiered, not available with easy rise, but other than that, all control systems operate traditional, tailored, tiered. Light rise, as we know, is that cordless operating system with added child safety and pet safety benefits. It's available with traditional, tailored, tiered. Ultra glide, that retractable pull cord that remains at the same length whenever the shade is raised or lowered. Again, the single cord at that set length provides enhanced child safety. Available, traditional, tailored, tiered. The easy rise, that continuous loop cord, same easy rise that you see on duet, silhouette, and pirouette. This is for the easy operation on a larger blind, no matter the size of the shade. So only available, traditional and tailored. Then obviously power view. Power view, obviously that motorization system complete with the hub and all the pebbles and all those features that you know the power view system has through soft shades, obviously available for modern Roman shades. So available with either a battery or mains power connection through a DC plug-in adapter across traditional, tailored and tiered. Now with traditional and tailored, we're rolling up into a head box and we're going to install one shortly. The great thing about this product is that when the shade is fully lowered, when it gets to that lowest point, the fabric actually kicks back and goes back towards the window to provide better privacy and obviously better insulation. The bottom fabric fold, like Pirouette, the bottom fabric fold or the bottom panel will vary from shade to shade depending on the ordered height. And to ensure that the bottom fold of multiple shades is consistent, you need to make sure you order them at the same time, same fabric, same color, the same lifting system, and obviously the same drop. When we launched Modern Roman Shades, it was a new product category. So your deductions on this that you need to make at your end is 0 and 0. We make the deductions at our end. Obviously, if you're in corners and bays, be mindful for a traditional and tailored, we have a reasonably large head box. You will end up with reasonable fabric or reasonable light gaps. Be conscious of that, and the deductions you need to make for corners and bays are per the manual or as per the pricing app. A couple of installation options. Obviously, with soft shades, you know you've got spacer blocks. So if you need to, I'll just grab a bracket actually. So if you need to pack out your bracket if you're fitting on face, you can obviously pack the bracket out using a spacer block. Maximum of projection of 5 of these can be used. You can also use an extension bracket. Again, that soft shade extension bracket that I'm sure most of you are aware of, and that can actually then be attached to the standard installation bracket. You also have the option for magnetic hold-down brackets. Again, something that's available on Pirouette, also available now on the Modern Roman Shades. What we're going to do now is we're going to install a tailored in an Ultra Glide, and then we're going to install a tiered, obviously in a light rise, which the two probably most common scenarios. The tailored is that flat 150mm fold, so it's nice and flat, and from a distance looks like a classic panelled Roman shade. Now, I've already installed one of the brackets, but I do want to point this bracket out to you. Now, this is the bracket that you would use to fit the tailored and the traditional. The head box on those two products is the same. And this is a dedicated bracket to suit that head rail. Obviously, the head rail is going to come along and it's going to sit along that front lip and it's going to push up into the bracket. To release the shade from this bracket, you'd actually need to get, and I should have had the screwdriver here, but I forgot. You'd actually need to come up behind the shade and push up a little lever behind and then pull the shade off from the front. What I'll quickly do is just pop this bracket in position. I'm just going to put this other screw in the bracket, 2 screws per bracket, absolutely recommended. Okay, so we've got the bracket in place, got the shade here. So you can see here, this is a tailored, it's got Ultra Glide, fabric covered head rail. So you've got that consistent look of fabric top all the way to the bottom. The head rail will come along under the lip at the front here, that'll lip onto the bracket, and then we simply push it up from the back. Okay, and that shade is in position in the bracket. Ultra Glide, obviously, keep in mind, Ultra Glide, depending on the shade, depending on whether it's Pirouette, Silhouette, Duet, or Modern Roman Shade, the direction of the cord does vary. But obviously, when you're used to using the product, you know what you've purchased in your home, you remember. So obviously, straight down, we'll pull the Ultra Glide Modern Roman Shade up, and pulling at 45-degree angle into the centre will lower the shade. Now you can see here, if you watch that, I'm going to lower it. When I get all the way to the bottom, you see that kick back. This is a product that actually rolls up in a forward roll scenario. So when you do get it all the way to the bottom, it kicks back. Really does take the shade closer to the window, as I said, to improve insulation and obviously improve light. Again, the bracket is a dedicated bracket just for the headrail on the Modern Roman Shades Tiered. Similar to the bracket you use for Duet, but you'd know that the Duet bracket now has got those little tabs on the side or the little wings on it. The Modern Roman Shade Tiered doesn't have that. But again, it has a lip at the front, which will lip under a lip on the actual headrail, and it'll click into the back. So we'll quickly just pop them in position. These are a single screw fit bracket. That one. Okay. And here we've got the Modern Roman Shades Tiered. So again, you can see the headrail here, very similar to what you'd actually see in a Duet Hartford headrail. Fabric covered, colour coordinated, fabric all the way down, wraps around the base as well. And again, brush along the top. So you've got that nice brush there, like you have on a Duet, to help keep out dust and also close in any light gap. So again, comes along, front lip into the bracket, click, click, it's installed, it's done. So again, it's a really quick, easy product to install. Light riser, it's manually operated. So keep in mind obviously the practicality of making sure you can reach the top and reach the bottom of the shade needs to be considered. There you have Modern Roman Shade Tiered. Now I spoke about this product stacking up a little bit differently. The traditional and the tailored roll up into the head box. This actually stacks up from the bottom. So you can actually see, and I might just pull that out from the side, so you can actually see actual fabric puffing out at the back and puffing out at the front. So obviously for a big stack fitted on face, you may need to use some extension brackets or some spacer blocks to move that away so that it's not rubbing too much on the architrave or any window behind it. There you have our Luxaflex Modern Roman Shade range, traditional, tailored and tiered.